Welcome back. I'm going to walk through how to use the new Scratch 2.0 More Blocks and Make a Block feature. So in this example, I've created a cat chasing a laser pointer. I'm going to play it for you just to show what we're doing here. So you can see I've got some animation already built where the cat is following this little ball, laser pointer, and he pounces on it at regular intervals. So the custom block that I created was called, or is called, cat pounce. So I'm going to stop my action here. So to get started, you actually have to have something going, and then to add your new custom animation with your new block, you're going to add to it, and that's what I would suggest. So when I started this project, I built the when clicked, set the cat to X and Y at 0. Whoops. You can see it's not doing that. There we go. I'm sorry, -30 and 3. Wait 2 seconds, and then forever point towards this red sprite here. So that's pretty simple. That is using the blocks that Scratch already has. What you're going to do next then, I wanted to add cat pounce, and you'll see that cat pounce is a combination of the standard animation options that I already have available in Scratch, and that's what's really cool about 2.0. Those of you who've programmed in Alice know that you've always been able to do this, where you can mix and match different standard animations, plus you could create your own. So 2.0 is kind of joining the scene with us here. So to do this, I clicked on More Blocks, and I get this screen, and I get a Make a Block screen. I'll go back here. If I wasn't there, if I clicked on this, it would take me to the screen. Sorry, I was already there. So if you click on Make a Block, you're going to get a little dialog box here, and you're going to get options. These options, these are just labels. These aren't actually controlling your programming yet. So I would really, just because you're going to be new at doing this, I would just start with typing right in this little blinky area that you get without expanding to get the options choices. And I would accept the default of run without a screen refresh, which means that you can update it on the fly. You make the update, it changes right in the game. You don't have to refresh it by clicking on the little refresh icon. And I think people probably have that just when they have a lot of complex animations. They want to control what displays when. So I am going to go ahead and click on cancel, go back to the beginning. And I would say, in my example, I'm going to call this cat pounce 2. And it's as simple as doing that. So when you do that, then you're going to see that Scratch throws a little define block up here. And this is where you're going to go ahead and do your animation building like you usually would in Scratch. So for example, you see here, I drug over, and I'm just going to do a copy of this, which I realize you can do by doing duplicate, but I want to walk you guys through it without making it too terribly confusing. So I'm going to add a different control. Events. So I'm going to say repeat one time, or twice. Let's say twice. Then I'm going to say, I'm going to copy my if statement here. Drag this up here. I'm going to have a slightly different action. And let me pull this here. And I'm going to change this because I want him to do something different than pouncing, which you can see what I did is to make him pounce, I had him kind of wiggle to the left and wiggle to the right and wait slightly. So I just kind of had to play around with it a little bit. So I'm going to say, I'm going to have him maybe go backwards. So we do motion. So let's have him go to a set position. So 0 and 0. Oops. Okay, so in this case then you'll see I have these two actions, and then I can just go ahead and use my usual event controllers. In this case I've picked, when green flag is clicked, and earlier I created this cat pounce and I just drug it in here. So this takes care of all this programming here. And then if I wanted to have some other action in my story and say, let's say for example, I program a bunch of other stuff and then I just slide this cat pounce to, then he's going to go back to the beginning. So cat pounce, we might want to do cat pounce. We could repeat him and then have him wait. So let's do, now I do have a forever in here, so that makes it a little bit tricky. So I'd really have to kind of play around with how I'd want the actions to work together, but it's kind of an example to get you started with how you can make these play around. Now, my biggest issue is when you have a lot of different custom blocks, how you would hide the define instructions, and that's going to be in a next screencast, but I will show you an example next where this has been done. And this is involving a custom plugin called LeapScratch, which I'll also be playing around with to show you. But you can see here they've used the S'more blocks to create custom operators. And you can see where when you got that option to make a block and you had the option to define different parts of the label, this is where you'd want to do it, where you have a very, very specific action that you're trying to control. And also with this third-party plugin, it allows you to hide the definition of the operator or the block, which is going to be critical. If you had these many custom descriptions, you really wouldn't want to have all that clutter here, which is sort of the point of having the custom block, so you don't have to look at so much on your scripting screen. I'm going to give you a quick preview too to this LeapScratch. In this example here, what they're using is your computer camera to detect the motion of each of your fingers, which is really pretty cool. So I'm going to show you an example on YouTube of how this works in action before we go. You can see this is if you have one finger going, what will happen on your screen using this LeapScratch plugin. And this is of all 5 fingers. You can see how they've got, it shows the grid, very much like mesh animation that you would see in Pixar. And now he has both of his hands going. And then look how you can translate that in Scratch to creating a game where, for example, look what he's trying to do here with the piano playing. So pretty cool stuff. So until the next time, we will continue working with Scratch 2.0 and doing all the cool stuff that it does. Till later.